Chase, American Express, someone else, who has the most valuable credit card points? We all know the best way to maximize your points is to transfer them to airline and hotel partners. So in this video, I'll take all 6 ecosystems, American Express, Chase, Capital One, Citi, Bilt, and Wells Fargo, and I will rank them from best to worst on how good their transfer partners are. At number 1, we have Bilt Rewards. I hardly ever talk about Bilt on this channel because they don't have welcome offers on their cards, and so it's really difficult to earn a ton of their points. But they do have the best transfer partners when you compare them to all other banks. I mean, of course, they do have Alaska Airlines, which is one of my favorite transfer partners, and it's how I've been easily able to book economy and business class flights for really good value, a fewer amount of points than if I used other transfer partners. And no other bank has a partnership with Alaska Airlines, and so that's a huge win for Bilt. But they also have a really good hotel partner, Hyatt. The only other bank that has this is Chase, and it is super valuable because it's an easy way to get amazing value. Bilt also has a special relationship with Accor Live Limitless, where they have a 3-to-2 transfer ratio with them, and Capital One and Citi have a worse ratio than that. Bilt also has similar transfer partners to all the other banks too. Like, they have the most valuable ones like Air Canada, Avianca, they have Flying Blue, Virgin Atlantic, and they do have British Airways Avios. In fact, they have all of my favorite transfer partners except for American Airlines and Choice Hotels. This is my favorites column here where I tell you which ones are my favorites right off the bat, and you can actually download this transfer partner guide with the link I have in the description. So you can check this out for yourself, and I update this whenever there's new changes to transfer partners from any bank. There is one huge flaw that Bilt has, and that's the ability to earn a ton of points really fast. Like with Chase and American Express and Capital One, you just sign up for a card and it sometimes has a huge welcome bonus, and then you have a ton of points. But Bilt doesn't have that ability, and that's okay to put Bilt number 1 because we're talking about most valuable points and not which points you should definitely go after right now in terms of which cards you sign up for. Now, number 2 was a surprise for me. I recently went through all the banks and I realized that I really love Citi's transfer partners. That is number 2 in this video. I really like that they have choice at a 1-to-2 ratio, and Wells Fargo has that as well, but I am specifically talking about Citi here because they have other things like American Airlines. They're the only bank that has this, and that's a huge win because American Airlines miles are super valuable. I would say that they're almost as valuable as Alaska Airlines, or some people would even say that they're more valuable than Alaska. Citi also has a unique partnership with Leaders Club that no other bank has. They have a unique ratio at a 1-to-4 when transferring to preferred hotels and resorts, and they have most of the most popular transfer partners for airlines like Avianca. They also have Flying Blue, Virgin Atlantic, and British Airways Avios. They don't have that one specifically, but they do have a partnership with Qatar Airways at a 1-to-1 ratio, and then you can move your Qatar points over to British Airways pretty easily. The one huge miss that Citi has is Air Canada. Air Canada is an amazing transfer partner that I've personally used to book a ton of business class flights and also some economy flights as well for Star Alliance partners. It's really nice, and I would recommend trying it out. Next up at the number 3 spot, I have Chase, and that's mainly due to their partnership with Hyatt. Yes, I already mentioned that Bilt has a Hyatt relationship as well, but I already said that it's really hard to earn a lot of Bilt points, and so most of your Hyatt points are going to be earned over on the Chase side. And you could say the same thing about United. Chase's unique relationship with United Airlines, except for Bilt, but if you do end up wanting to transfer over to United, it's probably going to come from the Chase side. And then Chase is definitely partnered with the major ones like Air Canada, Flying Blue, Virgin Atlantic, and also British Airways. And they have a unique partnership with Southwest other than with Bilt. But Southwest could be one of those airlines that you avoid anyway, so that doesn't matter a whole lot. They do have hotel partners like IHG and Marriott, but you also probably want to avoid that as well. After looking at all of these different ecosystems, I'd have to say Hyatt is definitely carrying Chase here. If you're somebody that doesn't want to look at staying at Hyatt's and you're maybe loyal to Hilton or Choice or any other hotel program, then it may be worth considering going with something other than earning Chase points. There's also some missing gaps with Chase transfer partners. They don't have a whole lot, and so they're missing lesser known programs like Avianca's a kind of a big one, but then also Cathay Pacific, Qantas, and Etihad. Sometimes it's really nice to use those partners if you know how to use them well. So if you want access to those ones, well, you can't get it from Chase. Now, number 4, we have American Express. Some people will say American Express is their favorite ecosystem, but when I'm specifically talking about most valuable ecosystems, American Express just really didn't impress me that much when I really dug into it. There are unique partnerships with American Express, like with ANA or with Delta Airlines, but what really stands out to me is this 1-to-2 transfer ratio to Hilton. Bilt does have Hilton, but it's only at a 1-to-1 ratio. And so this 1-to-2, especially if you can stack this with a transfer bonus, sometimes 20 to 30%, then you can get a lot of Hilton points from your American Express points. Other than Hilton, they have a bad transfer ratio over to Choice, and then a Marriott transfer that you probably never want to do. In terms of airlines, they do have what I'm calling the big 4. They have Air Canada, they have Flying Blue, Virgin, and an Avios transfer over to British Airways or Qatar if you want to do that. And so it's pretty solid. You might want to stick with using your American Express points with flights instead of hotels, unless you're somebody that really likes Hilton points and can get good value after transferring them. At number 5, we have Capital One. With all of these issuers, I tried to focus on their unique partnerships and why you might want to get these points as opposed to others, but with Capital One, there's no unique partners, except for Finnair, which earns Avios, but you can earn Avios from any other bank just by earning British Airways Avios and then converting it to Finnair Avios. Capital One also has Japan Airlines, but it's at a weaker ratio than Bilt has. It is nice that Capital One has those big 4, Air Canada, Flying Blue, Virgin Atlantic, and also Avios transfers, so that part is nice, but their hotel partners are really, really weak. When it comes down to a core, okay, well, Citi has that and Bilt has it as a better ratio. They have Choice, but Citi has that at a better ratio, and so does Wells Fargo. They have preferred hotels, but Citi has that at a better ratio, and then Wyndham, which isn't that great, well, Citi also has that. There's really nothing in the hotel department that Capital One is great at all. And then for number 6, we have Wells Fargo. This is something that is painful for me to say because they actually have a really nice choice ratio at 1-to-2, and they actually do have some pretty decent partners. Of course, they're missing Air Canada, which is huge, but they have Avianca, which is okay. They have Flying Blue and Virgin, which is good because all of them have that. And then they have Avios transfers. And so, there isn't too much to hate with Wells Fargo other than the fact that they just don't have a lot of partners. They're not versatile at all if you're planning to earn a lot of Wells Fargo points and use them for transfer partners. There's just nothing special here. Why are there not more partners? Wells Fargo promised that they're going to add more partners, and they just haven't got around to it, or they don't want to deal with it. I don't know what Wells Fargo is doing. I wish there was more, but there's not. After doing all of this research, I came to the conclusion that there aren't really a ton of bad banks out there. The ones at the bottom of the list can actually be pretty good and used for a lot of really great travel. It's just that some of the banks are really special with their unique partnerships. It just depends on what you're kind of going to specialize in and what airlines and hotels you want to transfer to. If you're interested in how I came to the conclusion on which ones are good transfer partners and which ones are bad, you can go in and watch this video where I ranked the top 10 transfer partners. And don't forget, I do have links in the description for this transfer partner guide and maybe some credit card referral links as well. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.